Today we're doing a deep dive on the WolfPack 4K 1x2 HDMI splitter with audio extractor. Wow, that is quite a mouthful for a $50 metal box.
It is, yeah. But looking at the specs, this little box actually solves a very specific and usually very expensive headache for home theater setups.
Right.
It's all about that, that early adopter penalty.
Okay, explain that.
So let's say you just bought a beautiful new 4K TV. The picture is absolutely incredible, but your AV receiver, the heart of your surround sound system, is maybe, what, 7 or 8 years old?
It sounds amazing, but it can't pass through a 4K video signal.
Exactly. The old HDMI standards just can't handle it, so you're stuck.
Yeah, you have to choose, right? You either get that gorgeous 4K picture on the TV and you lose your surround sound, or you keep the sound and you're stuck watching in 1080p.
Precisely. Or you go out and spend hundreds, maybe even thousands, to replace a receiver that is otherwise perfectly good.
And that's where this WolfPack device comes in.
That's the gap it bridges. It sits between your source, like your Apple TV or a Blu-ray player, and your other equipment. And it splits the signal.
But looking at the schematics here, it's not just cloning the signal, is it? Because that wouldn't actually solve the problem.
No, you're right, it wouldn't.
If you just send 4K to the old receiver, it still won't know what to do with it.
Correct. And that is the really clever bit of engineering here. Output 1 sends the full, uncompressed 4K video signal straight to your TV. But output 2, the audio-only port, it does something different. It takes the audio and wraps it in a 720p black screen video signal.
A black screen? Wait, what? A black screen? Why not just send the audio by itself?
Because of how HDMI works. It's kind of a package deal. The audio data actually travels inside the video signal.
I see.
So you can't really have HDMI audio without some kind of video carrier. So this box generates a low-res 720p dummy signal, which is just a black screen, to carry that high-def audio.
Okay, so the old receiver just sees the standard 720p signal, which it totally understands. It strips out the high-quality audio, plays it, and it has no idea the TV is getting this beautiful 4K HDR picture.
Exactly. It tricks the legacy hardware into working with modern content. And I notice it also has outputs for optical SPDIF and even analog stereo for setups that don't use HDMI for audio at all.
So it's basically a little translator for mismatched gear.
That's a good way to put it.
We should probably talk about the bandwidth, though. The name specifically mentions 18 gigabits per second.
Right.
That's a big jump from the old 10.2 standard. For you, the listener, does that extra speed actually matter? Or is it just numbers on a spec sheet?
Oh, it is vital. Absolutely vital. Think of bandwidth like the width of a pipe.
Okay.
10.2 Gbps is a pretty narrow pipe. You can squeeze 4K through it, but you have to compress the colors or lower the frame rate.
But the 18 Gbps pipe is wide enough for the full experience.
It's wide enough for 4K at 60 frames per second and, crucially, 10-bit HDR.
High dynamic range, so better contrast, brighter, more vivid colors.
Right. You lose the HDR without that 18 Gbps bandwidth. And it matters for sound, too. That wider pipe lets you jump from 8 audio channels all the way up to 32.
Which is how you get things like Dolby Atmos and DTSX.
That's it.
And I'm assuming, since we're talking about modern content, this box has to handle the digital handshake, the HDCP.
Absolutely. HDCP 2.2. It's the modern copy protection. If a single device in your chain doesn't support it, your streaming service or Blu-ray player just cuts the signal.
So this device is like a bouncer with the right credentials.
A very effective bouncer, yeah.
Okay, now there's one more feature listed here that it promises convenience, but it really just seems to highlight a bigger mess in the industry.
Let me guess. CEC.
CEC, Consumer Electronics Control.
The dream of a universal remote. In theory, it lets your TV remote control everything. Turn on the player, adjust the receiver volume.
And this box supports it. But when you read the documentation, you realize just how fragmented that standard really is.
It's a mess. The sources you sent over list all the different names for it.
Yeah, LG calls it SimpleLink. Toshiba calls it CE-Link.
And it's all just branding. They take this universal protocol, CEC, and they slap a proprietary name on it to make it sound unique.
But the problem is they often tweak it just enough so it only works perfectly with their own brand.
Right. The notes even mention that Sony devices sometimes will only communicate with other Sony products.
So even if this WolfPack splitter is